Hey guys, it's Saga from TecworkZ, and in this video, I will put the dual cameras on the OnePlus 7 against the single camera on the iPhone XR. Even as its prices have come down, iPhone XR still costs quite a bit more than the OnePlus 7. But when it comes to the cameras, which one of these has a better one? Let's find out. But before we go any further, if you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way, you won't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. OnePlus 7 comes with a dual camera setup at the back. Primary camera gets a 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor with f1.7 aperture, face detection autofocus, optical image stabilization, and each individual pixel has a size of 0.8 micron at its native resolution. Secondary camera has a 5MP depth sensor with f2.4 aperture, and this camera is only used for capturing depth information for portrait shots. iPhone XR on the other hand comes with a single rear camera which gets a 12MP sensor with f1.8 aperture, face detection autofocusing, optical image stabilization, and each individual pixel has a size of 1.4 micron. Both the phones can shoot 4K videos at 30 and 60 fps, but iPhone XR also lets you shoot 4K cinematic videos in 24 fps. OnePlus 7 can shoot 1080p videos in 30, 60 and 240 fps, while the iPhone XR lets you shoot these videos in 30, 60, 120 and 240 fps. OnePlus 7 can shoot 480 fps super slow motion videos in 720p resolution, which the iPhone XR doesn't do. Front-facing camera on the OnePlus 7 has a 16MP sensor with f2.4 aperture, and it gets a 25mm lens. Selfie camera on the iPhone XR comes with a 7MP sensor with f2.2 aperture, and it gets a 32mm lens. It can shoot 1080p 60fps videos, which the OnePlus 7 can't. If you want a better look at the interface of the camera app, I suggest you guys check out my dedicated camera reviews of both these phones. I will link them in the description section and also leave cards to them on the top right corner of the screen. With all the specs out of the way, let us now get to the image and video samples from both the phones. Right from the first image, we can tell that there is a slight difference in the way both of them capture colors. Image from the iPhone XR is showing more natural and true to life colors, whereas the one from OnePlus 7 has a distinct magenta tint to it. We can see the same in this next image, and in almost all of the images which have a bit of sky in them. Now these images from both the phones have a lot of information and details. There is more contrast in the images from the OnePlus 7, which depending on your preference, you may or may not like. We again see a slight magenta tint in this image, but as we zoom in, we see the image from the iPhone XR being slightly sharper and more detailed. We can see the same things as we zoom in on this image. The difference is very little, but the image from the iPhone XR is a tad bit sharper. You will notice this only when you zoom in on these images, but what is more concerning is the weird white balance shift in the images from the OnePlus 7. You can easily correct it with a bit of editing in post, but I would much rather prefer getting accurate looking colors right out of the camera. Now I like that there is more contrast in the images from the OnePlus 7. It makes it look like there is a bit more depth to its images, while some of the images from the iPhone XR may appear to be a bit too flat. I've got two updates on the OnePlus 7, which made its camera a bit better, but the white balance issue still needs to be taken care of because in most of the outdoor shots, we don't see accurate colors from the OnePlus 7. And if photography is very important to you and you need accurate colors in your shots, then I would suggest you to go with the iPhone XR amongst these two. You can take 48MP images on the OnePlus 7 by switching to the Pro mode. These images are huge in size, and you will barely see any more details in these images compared to the 12MP ones even when you zoom in. So I would suggest you to stick with the default 12MP images. Smart HDR on the iPhone XR is showing much better results. It is bringing up more details from the shadows while preserving most of the information and colors from the highlights compared to the OnePlus 7. That being said, out of these shots, I like the one from the OnePlus 7. Because of the magenta tint, its image is looking warmer and better in this particular situation. Overall, HDR mode on the iPhone XR is much better in almost all of the cases. Coming to close-up shots, both the phones do a very good job with them. Subject that you are trying to capture is in very sharp focus, and thanks to wide aperture on both the phones, background in these close-up shots is very nicely blurred out. Minimum focusing distance is a bit better on the iPhone XR, which means you can get a bit more closer to the subject with the iPhone XR than on the OnePlus 7 and still be able to set the right focus. I like how both of them capture portrait shots. OnePlus 7 uses depth information from the secondary camera, which has the same focal length as the primary one, and iPhone XR has a single camera, so the blurring is taken care via software. Contrast and overall colors in the portrait shots from the iPhone XR look much better, but its edge detection is not the best. Actually, we can say this about both of them, and they can definitely use some improvements via software updates. That being said, portrait shots from the iPhone XR are better because it handles the colors and dynamic range in a much better way, and the subjects in its portrait shots are much sharper compared to the ones from the OnePlus 7. Just look at how soft the faces and hair are in these images from the OnePlus 7. I like my portrait shots to be perfectly sharp like the ones from the iPhone XR. I also love to take portrait shots of objects, and sadly, iPhone XR won't even let me do that with the native camera. There are third-party apps which will allow you to take portrait shots of objects, but the native camera app just doesn't. OnePlus 7 on the other hand has no problem taking portrait shots of objects. Coming to indoor, artificial and low lighting situations. Both phones have optical image stabilization and wide aperture, which help them capture a lot of light when you get in situations like these. If we zoom in on these images, we can again see the images from the iPhone XR being sharper and having more details. There is slightly more noise in the images from the iPhone XR, but they are definitely sharper. It can also handle the exposure from light much better, as we can see in this image, and it continues producing natural and better looking colors of the two, even in very low lighting situations like these. To counter this, OnePlus 7 has a night side mode. Images shot in the night side mode on the OnePlus 7 have more light and much more details. You will need to hold the OnePlus 7 steady for a couple of moments to capture these night side images, but the results are worth the wait. These images are not as good as the night side mode from the Pixel 3 or Huawei P30 Pro, but it gets the job done, and these images turned out much better than the normal auto mode images from the iPhone XR. That being said, iPhone XR's low light images are sharper and more detailed than the regular non-night side mode images from the OnePlus 7. But it is clear that if you are someone who takes a lot of images in lower light, then your choice should be the OnePlus 7. That brings us to the front-facing cameras. The 16-megapixel selfie camera on the OnePlus 7 definitely captures more details, but the images from iPhone XR are also not bad. OnePlus has a wider lens of the two, so it can get more of the scene in the shot. Colors, contrast and overall dynamic range is much better in the selfies of the iPhone XR. The selfies from the OnePlus 7 are detailed, but for some reason, they don't seem to have 16-megapixel worth of details in them, if you know what I mean. iPhone has a much lower resolution selfie camera, but the differences in these images are barely visible. Both can take portrait selfies. OnePlus 7 is better at detecting the edges and separating the subject from background, but skin tones, overall colors, dynamic range and blurring of the background is much better in the portrait selfies of the iPhone XR. OnePlus 7 keeps the face and the person in focus and blurs the rest of the background, whereas iPhone XR keeps the object or subject closest to the lens in focus and then gradually blurs everything out. And this is how portrait shots in actual DSLR cameras work. Here's a video from the front-facing camera of the iPhone XR and the OnePlus 7. You can see how both these phones are handling the overall colors of the scene, exposure and stabilization when I'm walking around with them. Both can shoot videos in up to 4K 60 FPS. Right now, 1080p videos from my OnePlus 7 are not stabilized for some reason, so I did not include that sample in this video. Hopefully it's a software bug and will be fixed with the next update. Both can take 1080p slow motion videos at 240 FPS. OnePlus 7 can go a step further and take 720p slow motion videos in 480 FPS. While shooting slow motion videos with these or any other phones, make sure to do it in well lit areas. Shooting these videos in lower light or indoors will result in grainy or flickering videos. So after looking at images in various lighting conditions, iPhone XR is the better one if you take most of your images in daytime. It even performs really well in lower light. But if lower light is where you take most of your images, I will suggest you to go with the OnePlus 7. Difference is not much, but the iPhone XR is also better at taking videos. So if you take most of your images in daylight, and if you need a better video camera, then I would suggest you to go with the iPhone XR. What do you guys think about the cameras on both these phones? Do let me know in the comments. And if you are still confused or don't agree with my analysis of these images, then mute the video, watch it again in the highest resolution that your device supports and draw your own conclusions that way. If this video helped you, and if you are going to get any one of these phones, I will really appreciate if you get them from the affiliate links in the description section. It helps the channel a lot at no extra cost to you. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Saga and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.